Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dabble's Writing Sprints on this wonderful January 15th. I got it. Wonderful. It's very cold where I am, and I'm in a basement, so my toes are cold, but my fingers are nice and warmed up, ready to do some writing. Although I'm doing some revising today, so maybe they're just warmed up to help you do some writing. I see the chat's already a bump, and this is just a chaotic intro all around. But let's get a hello from everybody. I see that NJ's here, and Ashley's here, and Hope's here, and Iva's here, and it looks like and Shelly's here as well. Awesome. And it looks like Ashley's been having a rough day. I will say, and I'm a bit biased, so my better half is a teacher, and I know Ashley's a teacher as well. And teachers are just so criminally underappreciated. And here in Canada, I think they are better off than a lot of places in the States. I know they're even more underappreciated and grossly underpaid. In the UK, I know it can be pretty rough. I know some folks who have taught and continue to teach in the UK. It's a difficult profession, but it is such an important profession. So to Ashley and everyone else in that profession, thank you for being awesome teachers. Because I wouldn't be where I am, without fantastic teachers in my life. So you're making a big difference. Okay, let's see. Emily's here. Emily has a sudden temperature rise and your head's not feeling it, but you hope to do some writing anyway. Well, I'm glad that you've joined us. We have the exact opposite, and Bernadette's here as well. It was high of 2 degrees Celsius here the last couple days, and then overnight, with the wind outside now, it feels like minus 25 or something. We got 15-20 centimeters of snow. And I know south of me, Toronto, and like anyone joining me from Toronto or like London, Kingston, Ontario, not London, the UK, I know you're getting hit worse than I am right now. So stay warm, stay strong. We're in for some good writing today. Below me, you will find the links to all the writing sprints. We're on deck for three 20-minute sprints with 5-minute breaks in between each one, where we can come, we can chat. I have a couple things to chat about today. Just some I don't know if they're hot takes, but maybe they'll get a little spicy. Who knows? A little Dugget for everyone. But we'll save that for in between the sprints because we only got a couple minutes left. But I will pop the link to the first sprint in the chat. So it's easy for you to find. TW is here. Hello. And Renee's joining us. Hello. Sunny and nearly 50. Yeah, I hear the southern states being geographical south, not cultural south. We had this whole conversation in amongst the Dabble team about south in the United States, but I hear everyone down there is getting getting some weather like me, some colder weather, I guess. Maybe not today's weather, but chilly for what you're used to. Hello, Keo. Welcome. All right, and let me know what you're working on today, everyone. Like I said, I'm revising my dark fantasy novel, the third in my series. I will say, if you're here joining me for sprints, hopefully you're using it to be productive, to get a step closer to your goals, to writing or editing or revising or whatever you're doing, and not necessarily looking at the screen because you're supposed to be productive. But if you do look at the screen, the stuff that I write will be up there. It is dark. It can be mature. It can be gross at times. So just a heads up for anything that might pop up if you're looking at the screen. Just look at my face. Don't look at the words. Keo's glad that I switched to Thursday so you can sit it on a Doug sprint. Well, then that makes it all the better. I'm still getting used to Thursdays. I still wake up on Wednesdays and I'm like, shouldn't I be doing something? Should I be preparing for something today? But no, it's Thursdays now. Wednesdays are free. I'm a free elf on Wednesdays. Christina's here. Welcome, Christina. Awesome. Okay, we got 30 seconds until we start. I'll say this again towards the end, but if you are a Dabble U Academy member, whether directly through the Academy or through Dabble Premium, we do have our Academy office hours today. Hank will be joining me at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's in an hour and a half over at Dabble U Campus. So be sure to bring your questions. Join us there for a fun time. It's going to be a blast. Dougie, hear the beep. Here we go. It's work. Hey, Bill. Everyone, 20 minutes. All right, everyone. That is our first sprint of the day done. Veronica is late, but made it nonetheless, and we appreciate any chance that you have to swing by and do some sprints with us. That's the whole point of this, right? Like, there's a we can be here working on our own stuff, doing whatever, but the thing that really makes these sprints special is that we get to do them all together, and I like that. I like that quite a bit. So let me know how those sprints. Oh, Rosalinda's here too. Hello, hello. Let me know how those sprints went for you. I got through just at the end of a chapter there. By the time we finished up, which is great, I'm pretty thrilled. I'm doing so. If you've gone through our revision course over at Dabble U Campus, it's a free one, so anyone can do it, not just Academy members. Um, the first step in our revision process is the vibes only read. And that's just when you're reading to see, hey, is this actually a decent story that I've written here? Is it worth a reading? Do I need to go all the way back to the drawing board and start from scratch? Which hopefully that's not the case. So, sometimes it is. And we're doing that. And when you do that, you do not revise, you do not like change things as you're going along. And it's tough because I really consider myself strong when it comes to like story structure, when it comes to character arcs and character relationships and dialogue and voice and all of that. If I may be so bold, but where I really need to put in effort, like actual time in revisions, is the prose itself. That's where I think is my weakest part of writing. The part that takes me the longest to get to where I want it to be is when I go and revise the prose. And since I can't revise the prose in this step, or it's frowned upon because we want to get through it, we want to make sure everything's cohesive before we make those smaller changes, it can be painful sometimes. It's like, Doug, what were you thinking? That's like the same word 4 times in a row. Why is it? How'd that even make it through? It's all first draft stuff, but like, ugh, it hurts sometimes. Okay, let me check in on the chat here. I see some great numbers coming in. Christina's saying that you're writing the wrong novel. Oh no, how come? And Bill got -37 words, which is fantastic. Renee, no words written, but you did finish that gigantic breakfast after this morning's 2-hour bike ride. Okay, you're prepped, you're locked in. Let me actually, before I forget, grab the link to the second sprint, put it in the chat. Again, it is down below me, and you can reach the second sprint from the first sprint if you're joining me on wordsprints.org. But there it is. Let's see here. Hope has some great ideas for the climax of book 2. Awesome. Bernadette got the ending event nailed down for Ajaka. Fantastic. Yeah. Rain saying that's a tough read through for me too. Okay, good. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. And Hope highlights when you come across repeated words. I've done that a little bit, especially when I'm reading it in Dabble, right? But since I'm in wordsprints.org doing this now, so that we have the timer, we have the beeping and whatnot, I can't do that without tabbing over and figuring out where I am and highlighting it. And which is, I wish I could, but also it's kind of good that I can't, because like, Doug, you're gonna be looking at this and fixing it up anyway. Uh, so yeah. We have a minute and a half before our next sprint, and I have 2 things I want to chat about today. The first one is less a chat, but more just a little piece of advice. I guess I dug it. Um, we often say like understand your genre when it comes to characters and voice and tone and pacing and whatnot, but also understand the writers that you want to take inspiration from or emulate to a degree within that genre. I'm listening to a book by John Gwynne right now, and John Gwynne does a great job creating characters and giving them distinct personalities. But I'm just coming off of reading Empire of the Dawn by Jay Kristoff, who has a lot more evocative language than John Gwynne does. And that is a good thing if you really like evocative language, and a bad thing if you aren't a fan of the more illustrative kind of metaphors or bigger words, let's say. So there's a trade-off. There's a give and take, and they both write in the same genre. They both write fantasy. They arguably both write some darker fantasy. So when you're thinking about what you want to write, also think about who you want to write like. And that doesn't mean rip them off, but it means understand that you can be character forward, you can be like verbiage forward, you can be pacing forward, you can be so many different things. Just something to think about. Danny saying John Gwynn wants you to feel swords, not feelings. I like it. I like it. All right. I heard the beep in. I'm already behind. So happy writing, everyone. I'll talk to you in 19 and just over a half minutes. All right. That is our second sprint of the day done. How's that going, everyone? How did that go? Athena is joining in, working on character arcs. After the last workshop, you have many aha moments. I cannot express how much joy that brings me to read. That's like when I tell people about what I do for a living, because it's not the easiest to tell them what I do. It's a very unique role that I have the privilege of having. I tell them that those aha moments are exactly what I go for. Those are the things that make my job as fulfilling as it is. So thank you. That means a lot, Athena. And I'm just glad that you had those aha moments. That's fantastic. Um let's see. All right, we got hundreds of words rolling in here. Fantastic. Bill's in the positive this time around. Awesome. And Christina's back in the right novel. Love it. Love it. Fantastic. Renee's working on the character arcs too, working on the live, really seeing it as a tool now, looking at how to use it. Fantastic. You guys are just making my day. I have, let's see, I have one, two, three, almost three chapters read through during these sprints, which is awesome for me because, like I said last time, I'm a bit of a slow reader. So anything that I can get done, I'm very happy to get it done. Um, awesome. And Hope's been catching up for the third act workshop and it helps so much. Fantastic. Fantastic. Emily's been editing that outline. Awesome. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about today. My wife and I are going to look at a house to potentially rent tonight. A house that would come up for rent in April, and it's not on the market yet, but we know the landlord. And we own the house that we live in now. And when we talk about this with a lot of people, they say, "Oh, why would you sell your house to go and rent a house?" Right? Almost like that's looked down upon, almost as if it can't compute to people. And there's a lot that goes on behind it. Primarily the fact that our mortgage is renewing, and the cost will go up dramatically. But that's beside the point. What I'm want to tell with this story and why I'm bringing it up is because your goals are not everybody else's goals. It's specifically for writing. Okay. And so you'll look at some people who are indie authors who are publishing 6 to 10 books a year. You'll look at some folks who are indie or trad published and they've sold 1 million copies. Brandon Sanderson just sold like his 40 millionth book or something. It might even be more than that. I can't remember what the press release said. You'll see people out there doing all of these things, and you might think, okay, I've got to do it that way, or that's the goal. That's what I really want to aspire to. And we all know that I'm a goals guy. I love setting goals that work for you, that are appropriate, that like reinforce what you want to do and help you accomplish them. So I want you to just take a moment if you haven't recently. And I know it's January, so everyone's talking about goals. This is not a New Year's resolution thing. This is just to figure out what you want, right? And it could nothing set in stone, nothing that you have to write down, but like, why are you writing and why do you want it? Do you want to be someone that writes 4+ books a year? And if so, why? Do you want to be someone that writes 1 book a year and still has like a full or part-time job on top of that? If so, why? Do you want to be someone who just writes a story that never gets published? If so, why? Right? Like just think about what's important to you and don't get caught up in what other people say are important. Because what other people say are important could be very like it could have basis. It could be something that you want to think about, and they could have valid concerns or ideas. Or I'm not ignoring people in the situation that I'm in, for example. But ultimately, you need to figure out why you're doing something and not really give a hoot about what other people think when their destination's not the same as yours. So think on that. Think on that. Um, Athena saying, was wondering if Dabble had an article on negative arcs and the steps that we should include, like the resources on positive arcs. Couldn't find one. There is, but Athena, we have a whole workshop on negative arcs coming up in a week and a half. That'll be on the 27th. So a little more than a week and a half, but a follow up to the one that we had on Tuesday. Oh, and Christina said that for me, and Athena said, "Yeah, I'm just impatient." So, and Jay saying, "Are we putting our goals in the chat?" You can if you want. I'm not going to stop you. But I hear the beeping, and I'm going to put my stuff on screen. That was my little rant for today. This is our last sprint of the day. Reminder, we have office hours at 2 p.m. That's the top of this hour uh, for W Academy. My apologies. So after that, I will hopefully see you there if you're a member of W Academy. Happy writing. All right, everyone. That is our third and final sprint of the day done. Let me know how that last sprint went for you. I just managed to sneak in the end of a scene there. So that puts me firmly at that 3.5 chapter mark. I still have a rather large scene to finish off this chapter, actually, but that is a later problem because in 15 minutes we have W Academy office hours. That's over at W Campus for Academy members. So I better see you there if you're in the academy. This is me threatening you, by the way, with finger guns. Some awesome numbers coming in. Ashley got over 2,000. That's excellent. Bernadette didn't quite get the 11,000 that she initially said, but 1,100, which is still awesome. Rosalinda, 27 riveting words. Bill, 107, had to stop and look up the spelling of ew. Veronica got 709 in 2 sprints. That's awesome. Christina, 1,267. Fantastic. Shelly got 315, which is awesome. And Athena is reshaping the lies completely, reshape the internal conflict. You're adoring this. I'm going to put that on a sticky note. I'm going to stick that somewhere. That's fantastic. Awesome. Rosalinda. Oh no, not the finger guns. Kio's excited for office hours too. And Hope's excited for the climax of your second book. That's fantastic. That's awesome to see. All right. I would love to just hang around and chat some more now that we don't have a sprint looming in a couple of minutes, but we've got office hours coming up. My eyes need to break from a screen before I go do that. Got to let my dog out. All that fun stuff of being, an adult, a busy human being. So thank you for joining me today. I will be back next week for Thursday writing sprints, and I hope to see whoever is in the academy over at office hours tomorrow. Other than that, thanks for joining me today. I hope you got some great writing in. I'll catch you later. Bye.